Sydney Thompson was a consultant with Lunder's Global Initiative. She had a few too many and decided to entertain her friends with an impersonation of her boss, Lena Lunders. This impersonation was recorded and uploaded onto a social networking site. The next day, she was fired. Sydney is now suing for wrongful termination. We are looking to see...
Can't cheat your way out of this one.
Partners have been instructed to only use the associates in emergency situations. Let the games begin.
Yeah. All right. When your name is called, please step up and meet your match.
I think you mean my bitch, Louis?
Gene Kaplan.
I'm glad Jessica finally chose a case with a strong female character. Last year, I was forced to play a traffic cop.
Jocelyn Lowenstein.
It's a total waste of my talent.
Wait a minute, you play witnesses?
Oh, I don't play anything. I embody.
Joss
And
Levine.
if I'm on your team, you're a winner.
Scott
Well, in that
Moran.
case...
No.
Kyle Durant. Mike Ross. Mike Ross. Mike Ross. Kyle for the plaintiff. Ross for the defendant. May the best man win. Oh, by the way, Kyle, weren't you a national mock trial champion?
That's right, Louis. In high school, college, and law school.
Let's settle.
Or I could beat you.
The plaintiff has shown a pattern of making derogatory statements about my client.
Hearsay.
Not the emails.
Which have no tone of voice and are subject to interpretation.
Which is exactly why your argument is shaky at best.
Then beat me in court.
Kyle, there is a reason that Harvey chose me to be his guide. You really want to find out what that reason is?
And how do I know this isn't some sort of trick?
It's not a trick. This is our chance to stand out. Look, settling gets us in and out of there in 5 minutes. You drop the suit, and you and I spend the rest of the week making ourselves indispensable to the partners while everyone else buries their heads in Candyland Court.
I'm going against my better judgment and trusting you.
So we have a deal. Counsel for the plaintiff and I agreed to a settlement yesterday.
He must have misunderstood. We had discussed, but I never agreed to anything.
Do you have a signed agreement?
No?
Then we are ready to proceed. You have the floor.
Thank you. On March 31st, 2010, Sydney Thompson was unwittingly recorded on a cell phone. She made a joke, the type of joke that I'm sure every person in this courtroom has made at one point or another. Yet, she was fired. She was fired. And yet, she was fired. Not only deserves her job back, 9 seconds of damages. Black.
Hey, are you okay?
Now you care?
Mr. Ross, I'm gonna have to ask you not to speak to my client.
She is not your client. She is Rachel, the paralegal, and I only have 5 minutes, so you should really get out of my face.
What's your problem, Mike?
My problem is that you don't have the balls to make this a fair fight, Kyle.
Lawyering isn't about fighting fair, and you better watch your false accusations, or I might just sue you for defamation.
The defendant wishes to countersue. On what grounds?
I believe that's my line, counselor.
Defamation of character. The plaintiff's video negatively impacted the perception of Lena Lunders and impaired her financial well-being.
That's ridiculous, Your Honor. In order for there to be defamation, the statements made would have had been false. That's not the case here.
Then you should have no problem proving that in court.
Countersuit is allowed.
Are you serious?
Would you like to approach the bench and find out how serious I am?
Your Honor, the defense should have filed counterclaims before the trial began.
Yes, he should have. But no one in this crop of associates had the foresight to do so. And we drafted a whole addendum just because we assumed one of you would. So I'm going to allow it. Do you have a problem with that?
No, Your Honor.
This is now a defamation trial. You have until Friday to prepare. Nice recovery. Thinking on your feet. But you wouldn't have had to if you hadn't been so naive.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We were co-workers. We started at the same level, and then I was promoted to be her immediate superior.
And do you know about the video in question?
Yes, I was at the party that night.
And what were you celebrating that night?
My promotion.
Same night. It's interesting. Miss Jeunesse, what did you think of the impersonation?
It was too far. It was mean.
So why do you think Miss Thompson did it?
Miss Lunders promoted me. Sydney hated it. And that's why she made the video.
Well, thank you, Mr. Ness. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Did Sydney ever tell you that she hated your promotion?
Not exactly.
Yes or no, please?
No.
Well, then how do you know that she hated your promotion?
I could just tell
Can you tell what I'm thinking right now?
that you're wishing I would agree with everything you say.
No. I was thinking that if you could actually read my mind, I wouldn't bother asking you questions. But you can't read my mind, can you?
No, I'm a managing director, not a
No,
magician.
and I'm pretty sure you can't read Sydney's either. And you actually have no idea why she made that video, correct?
I guess I don't. No.
What are you gonna do?
Ill will for my boss. As a matter of fact.
I'm gonna play the woman, not the case. You say you expected to be passed over for a promotion, correct?
Yes.
And yet you applied 3 times,
Yes.
and you were never promoted.
As I said, yes.
And when Nora Janess was promoted, you wrote scathing emails to the rest of your coworkers in response.
Not scathing. The intent was to be funny.
Oh, right. You like to be funny.
Who doesn't like to laugh?
Someone whose reputation has been ruined.
Objection.
Just a thought.
It's testifying.
Sustained. Mr. Ross, questions.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Forgive me. I was just trying to be funny. On your performance review, Lena Lunders wrote, "Good work ethic, lacks skills." Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Fair? I don't know.
Your coworkers were promoted and your boss was calling you mediocre. Are you mediocre?
No.
So why haven't you been promoted?
I don't know.
Do you think you deserve better?
Doesn't everyone?
So why haven't you tried?
I have tried.
Why haven't you improved?
I didn't say I haven't improved.
Well, your review did. Your 5 years without a promotion did. Look, you were so angry that you weren't moving forward that you lashed out at your boss
Objection.
and made a fool out of
Testifying.
her, and everyone was moving past
So
her.
what?
People making good on their
Badgering, Your
potential.
Honor.
People who could cut it.
I can cut it.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Settlement's still on the table.
What?
Let's settle. Same deal. Win-win.
No, I'm good.
Excuse me?
I've seen the dreamy looks, Ross. You like her, so you're offering me a settlement because you don't want to hurt her feelings. But I'd rather see if you'll break her. Giddy up, cowboy.
Counselor, would you like to proceed?
No, Your Honor.
Are you sure?
Yes, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Well, normally we'd move on to closing statements, but it's been a long week, and honestly, we all know where this is going, so. Court rules in favor of the defendant. Court is adjourned.
Need anything? Otherwise, I'm gonna head out.
Celebratory drinks with the associates?
Yep.
And what exactly are you celebrating?
You know what? You can save the disappointment, Harvey. I know what I did.
Do you? Because what I saw is that you backed off because you were worried about hurting your girlfriend's feelings.
It was a fake trial. All right? I weighed the pros and the cons, and I decided it wasn't worth hurting someone for the result.
The result is you just told every partner in this firm, including myself, that you have a weak stomach. You don't have what it takes.
You know, you keep telling me that I have to decide what kind of lawyer I want to be. And if I were smart, I'd probably be just like you, because everybody knows you're the best. But I'm also trying to decide what kind of person I want to be. Sometimes I like my kind of person a lot more than yours.
You want to know what kind of person I am? Tough, but fair. I call it like I see it. And what I see is a kid who asked for an opportunity, still hasn't decided if he wants it or not.
have to say, delicious dinner, fantastic wine. Almost enough to make up for the mediocre company.
Don't be too hard on yourself. You're not mediocre. See, that's funny because you were talking about me.
There it is, the Specter smile.
What can I say? It came with the name.
And you never fully dressed without a smile.
Being fully dressed is overrated.
It is when you look like me.
Mrs. Robinson, are you trying to seduce me?
Did you just call me Mrs. Robinson? Okay, first of all, I'm younger than Anne Bancroft.
Anne Bancroft was hot.
Which brings me to second of all, I'm hotter than Anne Bancroft.
I'm hotter than Dustin Hoffman.
Not in Tootsie. Are you afraid you're gonna lose this thing?
No.
You should be.
Why, because Lewis had one good direct?
You walk through life like men want to be you and women want to sleep with you.
I don't always walk. Sometimes I drive fast.
And it's exactly that kind of response that make the partners think you're an ass.
Being an ass doesn't make me guilty of fraud.
If they're right about who you are, what would make them think they'd be wrong about what you do?
Well, why don't you tell me? You're the expert on warm and fuzzies.
You want to know how I know I wasn't the one to call you back? Because I know why I wasn't the one to call you back.
Let me guess. You didn't like me.
No, I did. But in all the time I knew you, you never once showed me any vulnerability.
I told you how I felt about you.
But you never showed me. So I had no way of knowing it's the truth. And you could be telling the truth now, but if you don't show the partners some emotion, they're not gonna believe you either.
What do you want me to do? Manufacture a few tears?
Look, Harvey, when you're a defendant, you need the jury to protect you. There's no way they're ever gonna protect you if they don't care about you.
The plaintiff would like to call Miss Donna Paulson to the stand. You got her to come in.
Just stick to the script. Harvey won't know what hit him.
Miss Paulson, did Harvey Specter order you to shred that document?
I declined to answer pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights.
Did you put your date stamp on that document?
I declined to answer.
I'm not going to ask questions that you're just going to plead the fifth to, so. Had Harvey Specter asked you to bury something 5 years ago, would you?
He wouldn't ask me to do that.
That's not what I asked. If he did, would you do it? Oh, see, you're pausing, which means you're hiding something.
No, I'm not.
See, I think you'd do anything for him, and I know why.
Is there a question?
Do you love Harvey Specter?
What?
Do you love him?
That has nothing to do with...
It has everything to do with why'd your last boyfriend break up with you? Miss Paulson, why'd he end it with you?
He thought that I prioritized my work over our relationship.
Your work. He asked you to choose between him and Harvey, didn't he?
Yes.
Who'd you choose?
Harvey.
Because you love him.
Lewis, stop.
It is not that simple.
Do you love him, yes or no? Answer the question.
Lewis.
You're with him all the time. Your work revolves around him. Your life revolves around him.
Objection. Badgering.
You don't have a boyfriend, but the one you did wouldn't share you with
Your
him.
Honor.
Please, I just need a...
Do you love Harvey Specter? Do you love Harvey Specter?
That's enough!
Permission to treat the witness as hostile.
Permission granted. He's hostile.
The day we met, you were working in the mailroom of this law firm.
I don't recall that day.
Well, let me refresh your memory. An associate had missed a filing, so he backdated the postage. You came to me, and you said if the firm did not declare misconduct, you would report us to the DA.
I don't like fraud. It's no secret.
But what you did want to keep secret was the fact that you told me. Why?
I didn't want to get in trouble.
No, you did it because if we'd won, an old woman would have lost her pension. And if anyone found out that you were the one that told me, then they'd know that you cared.
Whatever you say.
You pretend like you don't care, but you do. You care about the people you work with, you care about the people you work for, and you care about every one of your clients, but you refuse to let people know.
Is there a question?
I just want to know why. No answer? Are you embarrassed?
Nope.
Afraid?
No.
Then why?
Just let it go.
No, you are under oath.
Then hold me in contempt.
For God's sakes, what the hell happened to you? What kind of damage was done to you? Caring only makes you
weak. They think you care, they'll walk all over you.
You weren't weak the day you walked into my office. You were a man who believed that to win fairly was more important than to win. And you still are. And I've never seen anyone walk all over you.
Is there a question here, Your Honor?
No, there isn't. Mr. Litt, do you resent Harvey Specter?
It's complicated.
No, it's simple. Do you resent him for being better than you?
He's not better than me.
I understand. It's so much easier to criticize someone else than it is to acknowledge your own shortcomings.
Shortcomings. My billables are higher than his. My client list is better than his.
I didn't ask you about those things.
What are you asking, Miss Pearson?
Does the witness resent my client?
Yes.
Your own ambition aside, do you think Harvey Specter deserves to be senior partner? Yes or no?
Yes.
Do you think he's an excellent attorney?
Yes.
And as much as you hate him, do you think he committed this fraud?
No.
Defense rests.
This case is about nothing more than cold, hard innuendo. And the fact is, I'm capable of reciting every element of jurisprudence in the state of New York. And yet, despite that, the prosecution is going to try to convince you that I am a fraud.
Who not only didn't pass the bar or go to law school, he didn't even graduate college.
There isn't one piece of hard evidence proving that I didn't go to Harvard Law.
There's no record of tuition being paid. No record of a Boston address. There isn't even a simple picture in the yearbook.
Let's talk about the yearbook. As he told you, I'm not in the yearbook.
Where is Mike Ross?
Now, what he didn't tell you is that 25 other students are also not in this yearbook. Now, are those other students being charged with fraud? Of course not, because we don't put people on trial for being sick on picture day. And no matter
what he says, the fact is, Mike Ross is not a lawyer. He's a fraud, and we will prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt.
The defense would like to call its first witness.
Right there. He's such a non-lawyer, he doesn't even know the prosecution goes first.
And you obviously don't know Jarvis v. the State of New York, 1937, when calling of the first witness is of such special nature as to disrupt the flow of the trial once it started.
What the hell special nature are you talking about?
When the defense wants to call the prosecutor as its first witness.
Harvey, unless you have something to overturn this, I'm gonna need you to have a seat.
Mr. Specter, you said there's no record of me ever having an apartment in Boston. Can you explain to the jury why there's no record of you ever having lived there?
I'm not the one on trial here.
No, you're not. You're the one in that chair, so why don't you answer the question or we can stop this whole thing right now.
There's no record of me living there because I sublet up there when I had my place down here.
So it is possible that a person not have a Boston address without it meaning that they didn't attend Harvard. Great. Thank you so much. This witness is excused.
What exactly is your reason for not having an address up there? Unless you're too afraid to answer my questions.
No, I'm not afraid of you at all. My reason is that I chose to live with my friend Trevor during that time.
The only problem with that is your friend Trevor has lived in Brooklyn his entire life.
Exactly a 3-hour and 20-minute drive from Harvard.
So you saying you made that drive every day?
No, I only went up for tests because that's all I had to do. I guess you needed some extra tutoring, huh?
You expect these people to believe that you graduated from the most competitive law school in the world without ever going to class?
See, that's funny because you actually expect these people to believe that I never went to law school at all and yet still somehow managed to convince the smartest lawyers in the world to make me their youngest partner ever. Whose story is looking more far-fetched now? Oh, no answer? Great. No more questions, Your Honor.
I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but he's kicking your ass.
And I'm about to kick back.
Are you two discussing something that defense should be made aware of?
Just talking about the Knicks. Now, is the prosecution ready to call their first witness?
The prosecution's first witness is this affidavit from every single member of the defendant's supposed graduating class.
Objection, Your Honor. I haven't seen that.
Well, then let me read it to you. We collectively come forward to swear the following regarding Michael James Ross. We never saw him. We never knew him. We never heard of him. And it makes us sick that he's taking the good name of Harvard Law School and throwing it down the toilet. Please find him guilty on all counts.
Your Honor, I move to strike that document right now.
On what grounds?
On the grounds that it's completely fabricated.
Where's your proof?
Besides the fact that I actually went to Harvard, there's no way you could have contacted all of those people since last night.
Then I suggest you call every one of these people and put them on the stand. But when you do, every single one of them is going to look you in the eye and say, "Who the hell are you?" What? No snappy comeback? You can try to trick these people all you want, but the fact is, you didn't go to Harvard, and this proves it.
Objection, he's testifying.
What I'm doing is winning.
Is the prosecution ready to call its next witness?
Prosecution calls Rachel Zane.
Objection.
Your Honor, the witness cannot object to testifying simply because she intends to take the fifth.
The witness doesn't have to testify because she's my wife.
What?
I have a marriage certificate here from the state of Nevada showing that the witness and I were married in Las Vegas 6 weeks after we started dating.
Both of you up here now.
Where the hell did you get that?
What do you mean?
You didn't marry her and you know it.
Then why do I have everything I need proving I did?
Because you did some bullshit to get out of this.
Oh, look who's crying about it now.
Keep your voices down.
You think this is a joke? You try this in court, Gibbs is gonna prove you're not married, and Rachel's gonna go to jail for perjury.
He's right. You better know what the hell you're doing.
Who said that I was gonna use this in the real trial?
I get it. This is a fake, just like you.
I said keep your goddamn voice down.
This is as real as that affidavit was, okay? Now, you wanted to rattle me, I've rattled you. What are you gonna do about it?
Prosecution calls Rachel Zane to the stand.
Objection, we just went over this.
When spousal privilege is invoked in the moment, prosecution has the right to challenge the validity of the marriage.
This is ridiculous.
Objection overruled. Miss Zane, take the stand.
We can skip swearing her in since she's just gonna lie about it anyway.
Objection.
Miss Zane, if you got married 6 weeks after dating the defendant, why are you engaged to him right now?
Because we did it on a whim. And we'd planned to have an annulment, but once we fell more in love, we thought that it might be wonderful to reveal it to our families after we were married again.
And how exactly did it go when you got married the first time?
We were in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I don't give a shit where you were. What color was your dress? What color was the cake?
Objection.
Who was there? Were there any witnesses?
Your Honor, he's
Who were the
badgering
witnesses?
her. Come on.
And what goddamn
get him
time
off
was
of
it?
her.
Harvey,
Tell me right now.
let the witness answer.
The dress was white, and the cake was vanilla with a buttercream frosting. It was a small ceremony at around 10 p.m., and I remember the man who married us like it was yesterday, because it was the most special day of my life.
And when you came up with this story, did Mr. Ross at least give you the courtesy of letting you make up your own memories of your supposedly sacred day?
Objection.
Since if he represents himself at trial, you won't have a real wedding for at least 2 to 5 years.
Harvey.
And I've got one more question. Did you vow to remain faithful to Mr. Ross throughout your marriage?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, then I guess when you cheated on him with Logan Sanders, it means you lied to him at that non-existent ceremony, just like you're lying to all of us right now.
That's enough. If you want to bring more outside information to dispute this marriage, feel free, but for right now, this witness is excused.